Charles Alford is a lieutenant colonel, I should say. Charles Alford was on a trip that we took to Normandy about a year and a half ago, and he and his son David were alongside. We went back to Bastogne and what have you. It was really it was very exciting. As a matter of fact, my son and I went over there and joined Laura and her whole contingent, and we put together a television show on it, and I'm proud to say my son and I won an Emmy for it. And I dare say that one of the funniest guys that was there was Mr. Alford. Last night I had the opportunity to MC the military ball. He was there as well. And he had everybody, anyone that was a female over 20, he entertained them yesterday. It was fun to watch. And as I watched him be introduced here today, as Laura kept having all these wonderful folks stand, were you here? Were you there? Were you there? He was up and down. So about the fourth time, I don't know if anybody saw him, he was going like this with his arm, that he was jacking himself up again because it was time to stand up again. Laura should have had you all just stay standing, right? Because you were every one of those verticals that was he's smiling now, but he's a recipient of the Bronze Star. He's a recipient of the Silver Star, and he's just one of the nicest people, just like all the veterans that were a part of that greatest generation. I don't know that there's a bad one in the bunch, but they all have their little idiosyncrasies, and he is certainly the comedian of the group, or certainly one of them. So it's a real honor to have him. Are you going to come down here and accept this award? Would you like to? Do you feel like coming down? David, can you bring your dad down here? This is Lieutenant Colonel Charles Alford, ladies and gentlemen. And as he makes his way down here, I know his daughter is here with us too, and this is terrible. I'm the worst with names. I forget names from here to the door. And what was your name again last night? You Sherry? Sharon, and your daughter is with you, and what is her name? Catherine. Would you please stand up and be recognized as your grandfather makes his way down here? Marilyn? Oh, and David just told me that his other daughter, Marilyn, is here as well. No wonder you like women. Please stand and be recognized. Delighted to welcome you as well. Thanks so much for being here. Hello, my friend. Would you like to say something? Will Laura get your award? You've never been short of words before.
Well,
here, get right in there.
Let me see if I can find something to read. This lady has been a help for me for a number of years now. I think I went to her first luncheon after the parade in Dallas, and I've been going there ever since. Well, I didn't get to go last year for some reason.
Where were you? We missed you.
Well, I could go next week. Okay. Anyway, she's been to my house 3 or 4 times to take me someplace. She'll call me up on a Tuesday and say, "Can you go to Europe with me on Thursday?" And I'd say, "Well, let me check with my secretary." And I would get a ticket and go with her. But she's been a great help for the what they call the Great Generation. You know, they've used that word for a number of years, ever since Tom Brokaw broke it loose. But I got to thinking one day that we weren't the greatest generation. We were the only generation. We had 16 million American men dressed like this or something like it. And that's what made us the great generation. We had a job to do, and we took on the task with gratefulness and opportunity. You know, it changed my life considerably because I was only 21 years old when the war broke out. And to me, it was change number one. I was a dumb kid at that time, at 21 years of age, knew very little about anything. And the Army turned me around and gave me a job, gave me the uniform and told me what to wear and where to go and when to go and what to do and how to do it. And so I spent about 4.5 years in the European theater and ended up with the war ended on Mulder River, or whatever that river was. And stayed with the reserves for 25 years. So I've really enjoyed what the military did for me, changed my life and turned me into a direction that I could realize what my task was and how I would do it and how I would perform the things that they would ask me to do. I didn't do a whole lot, I guess. I lived through it. That was one thing. I don't know how that happened. I think I fell in a hole or something. And they couldn't shoot me because they couldn't see me, but it's something like that. Anyway, that was my tour of duty for the U.S. government. And I'm now a recipient of their benefactors. So I'm real happy with the years that I've spent. The other good thing that happened after the war was to find my wife, who was working at Fort Hood as a telephone operator. And it took me about 5 years to convince her that I was worth something, and decided to go ahead and marry me. And I had 3 good children. We lived 61 years together. I'm not worth a plug nickel now, except if I have wheels under me. And I've enjoyed everything that happened to me from 1941, 42 on. And I'm a contented man, I guess. I've had nothing but good things happen to me. Thank you. I owe you a trip.